two biggest things that differentiate this brand Zoo Culture from like all these other gyms is obviously the community and the actual connection and the culture within it.
Yeah.
And then the actual equipment, right? Because the craziest thing, I said this before I opened the gym, I said I knew this gym would be successful even if it wasn't me doing it, because over the course of like 5 years on social media, I, along with many other like fitness influencers, like posted so much content over the years where like your 24-hour fitness or your LA Fitness or your whatever gym, like I would go to random places because that was my whole life. Go to film content at gyms, to like go film like lifting this crazy heavy dumbbell at this gym in like Ukaipa. It was like a 375 pound dumbbell, or going to this gym, traveling this gym, going all over the place. And the internet would see that content and be like, this equipment or like that dumbbell or like this type of barbell or like that type of machine, and they'd be like, what is this? What, like, imagine how many DMs over the years, like, where the fuck is this?
Yeah.
And so that would actually drive sales for these.
Yeah, so like most gyms don't have any of that stuff.
Right.
And imagine over 4 or 5 years, 6 years, you have people being like, man, I want to do this. I want to try this.
Yeah.
So I knew, like, even before I opened the gym, I was like, this kind of gym that involved like CrossFit, powerlifting, bodybuilding, like obviously I need a bigger space. I wish I had more equipment, but having all that stuff that people haven't seen over the years are like, you know, the chains and like the different types of attachments.
Yeah.
The kettlebells, like the whole, like that's not not a normal, the kettlebells are now, but it's not like a normal gym thing. So you see this over time, and not just me, like I said, all the other influencers in fitness, and you're like, oh shit, like where is that? And then imagine someone opens a gym where like, you know that it's there.
Yeah.
So you want to show up.
Yeah.
Right. Beyond like the whole like social media celebrity type thing where someone wants to come visit me, I just knew that kind of gym would do well.
Yeah, you attract serious people who know what they're doing.
And so here's another thing on that same thing with community, but also the equipment. Imagine my goal was like, I want to open up near every 24-hour fitness or LA Fitness or Gold Gym. It didn't matter. It wasn't competition, because I knew that there'd be people in those gyms that are just a little more serious. Yeah. And that would be the crowd that'd be like, fuck this place, I want to go there.
Yeah.
Because you know, like if you've been to 24-hour fitness, if you've ever trained somewhere like there consistently, you'll see this. There's people. There's like a few types of people. People who come in, they just do their thing because they got work, and then they're in there and then they're out. Yeah. And then there's the people who like maybe they hang around the powerlifting rack, and it's like next thing you know, there's like 3 or 4 of them, and like they kind of meet or they come train at the same time.
Yeah.
Those people who are like, oh, I really want to get my squat, my bench, my deadlift up. Like I know that group of people is gonna leave their gym and go to a Zoo Culture.
Sure. Correct.
Right. So if it was over there by 24-hour fitness, where that same concept, I guarantee, is happening, just in smaller levels or bigger levels, depending on the city.
And they just put in those power racks, like all the 24s have power racks, which they didn't have
barbells.
before. Yeah.
They're doing it now. Like you could tell, like over the last like 4 years, 24-hour fitness has changed their model drastically. Yeah. Like they try to put turf in all their things now. They try to have like functional areas, like kind of how the gym has Zoo Culture has
watching
the whole,
it before your eyes, like, oh, that's here now. Cool.
They're trying to like catch up, but they could maybe add that, but they still never have like the
still
vibe.
not the environment. Yeah.
Because 24 for a lot of people is like, I need to get in, get out because I got work, and it makes sense. If that makes sense, it's amazing.
Yeah.
But I knew that like this is the kind of spot I would open up anywhere near these other gyms, and it would succeed because those people are more serious in there, are looking for that.
And also the dichotomy of like, sometimes I'll go, oh, I'll go to Zoo Culture, you should come sometime, and people will go, oh no, I couldn't work out there. It's probably really intense and intimidating.
This one's interesting.
But conversely, like actually the experience of when you go in and people are really serious about fitness, they're actually excited and happy to be there and happy to show people who don't know what they're, the more serious you are about
There's been some big black
out,
dudes with the shirts out.
Yeah, they are.
But they're all super nice, right? They're all like, that might be.
So that one time they were shooting something like, hey, get your fat ass out of the shot. I'm like, me? Dumbass. I'm like, oh shit.
They kicked Brendan out of the shop.
Some jack dudes were like filming this med small thing. And I'm like, I'm like talking to Chappelle. They're all out of the shot, Bigfoot. I'm like, oh fuck. Nah, they were joking.
No, they wouldn't tell you.
No,
Fuck no.
Yeah.
This guy's like, I said this before the podcast started. This guy's like one of the biggest guys in there.
Yeah.
I think, like I said earlier, this guy's deceptively big. I'm telling you. You see this guy.
Insane.
You see him in real life, you'd be like, what the fuck? It's definitely not what you see on the internet.
And great genetics for strength too, because we came in like, you've seen
you
us
got
do
strong
these
as
legs.
fuck lately.
Yeah.
By the way, I want to say something before we continue this podcast. Thank you guys for bringing me on, and like this, it seems to me the beginning of this just turned like promoting Zoo Culture. So I just want to say,
we brought that out of you. Yeah,
I was like, my bad.
No,
but
that's
I appreciate it. I appreciate
No, hell yeah.
Yeah, because it's just been such a, like, for me personally, I know for these guys,
all of us,
it's been just a super positive way to start the morning. I love that routine, and that's also something that I try to preach to other people is like, you have a healthy, positive routine surrounding your exercise that you enjoy, and you're going to do it more, whether that's the weights or anything else. And I also wanted to ask you about like how you think about that, like as your mindset with like consistency and if you've ever like been in a rut, been depressed and not exercised. And
so here's the thing, man. The thing that is, I think is really significant. This is part of the reason why I stood up and was like, I'm going to keep my gym open, was because you know how I kept it open. Everyone goes, like not everyone, like the small minority goes, why don't you just work out at home? You're such a piece of shit. Like COVID's killing all these people. You don't care about anyone, right? Seriously, I would hear.
I don't doubt it though.
No, it's true.
So extreme, but
I would get those messages, right? And like
you're killing everyone,
right? So the thing that people don't realize, and this goes on your question, is like the gym for me, my whole life has been a place where it's like this is the thing that keeps me going, not just because of the physical activity and like the way it makes me feel, right? Yeah. But mentally, and also the community, like having people you're able to see every day, and you're like that keeps you coming back, that keeps you happy. Or someone, let's say like you want to learn powerlifting, right? And you know there's some powerlifters in there, and they're friendly enough to be like to show you some stuff, or you ask them questions, they're going to teach you. Now you're learning because of the people in your environment. That wouldn't be the same as like just go fucking work out at home. And 100%. For a lot of people, some people need that extra like push. You know, like let's say for example you got injured and you're working out at home and you're just like, oh fuck it, I'm just injured, I won't work out. But if your buddy knew you were going to the gym together and he's like, just come anyways, do what you can.
Yeah, you're around other
like
people.
you have people who are like-minded, and even if they're different-minded, like you guys kind of come together in a place where you're both kind of pushing each other to become better. So the community aspect of it is so massive, like that people don't understand. And even let's say fuck like fitness goals, but maybe just you're having like a really bad week or a bad month or a bad day, and you meet your boys who you train with, and they just make you feel better. Correct. And it's like people don't understand that. Like, the people who don't understand are people who don't experience it.
Yeah.
So those are the ones saying, "Oh, you should just be at home and you're dangerous and you're causing." It was like, and I knew from the beginning, like that just doesn't make sense.
No,
like,
I would have said, "Send me your PRs."
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
Like, how much you bench?
Yeah.
The guy's probably,
Yeah. Like
when we three get together, like it's just fun. Like I don't feel like we're like.
Yeah. You can
like,
lift and have a good time, and like we all take it super seriously, but there is this social element to it. That is undeniable, and I think that's when you talk to like psychologists about like what fights depression, purpose, community, self-esteem, all those things that actually you get from the gym. And listening to the last podcast with you, I just
last
didn't
time Bradley
think
was
about
on.
Yeah, exactly. I was struck by the sincerity of like the reasons that you kept the gym open. It wasn't financial. It wasn't. Now I just didn't know or think about like why you kept it open, but it really came across that you were like, no, this is the morally right thing to do.
Trying to help people.
And I think that's
just trying to help people. Yeah.
I mean, bro, like, I've told a story I made a post that like, I grew up without a father. That whole thing, like the gym saved my life. Yeah. So if I'm going to take that away from fucking 16, 17-year-old me, obviously it's not me, it's some other kid who knows what he's dealing with. I knew what that'd be like to have it taken away.
Right. So and you're actively thinking about that because there are a lot of young people that come to your
like,
gym.
What money? Like I thought about it at the beginning. I was like, are they really going to throw me? There's no way they're going to throw me in jail. And if they did, I'm like, worst case scenario, like that's going to be dope on the internet. But it's like
content.
Yeah. And it's just
Bradley Martyn in jail.
It's like, why would I not stand up for something that like really meant something for me?
Yeah.
Like,
but in other words, it wasn't like you, for example, one extreme, like you're not like a group of anti-maskers going through Target, like trying to get kicked out, or some like, you're going, this is what I believe in that I think is right, and I'm going to take a stand against a very powerful institution in the city of Los Angeles.
For sure.
Can you talk about the update on that or no? We got you in trouble last time.
Yeah, you got me in trouble. So I can tell you this, though. This is funny, right? I just want to say this. This is hilarious. Yeah, I did get in trouble last time. So I'm going to say this.
They used this against him last time.
So, okay, so this is the funny thing, right? Like, imagine you're in a case for COVID, right? Yeah. Then, and the case was you 8.77B, some penal code. You kept your gym open and we told you not to. And you did it this many times, right? Imagine that was your court case. So now imagine they're gathering discovery, which is like what our lawyers and our prosecuting team has against your client. And they tell my attorneys, right? They're like, so here's a button. It's like all these pages of like things, right? And imagine some of the content in those pages of discovery is like, well, your client went on a podcast and said he's gonna fucking sue us, and what we're doing is wrong, and we don't really like that. We think he's thumbing his nose and he doesn't believe. And it's like I fully believe that COVID is a problem, and it was more of a major problem, obviously.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean that like being like taken out of something that can be so beneficial for you mentally and physically is not also a problem during a time when like we don't have the cure for this thing.
Yep.